Hello and welcome to Retro Reviews, my channel where I review my favorite retro video games of all time as well as some modern releases I have recently finished. And we finally got the Switch 2 Direct, and let me tell you, it was phenomenal. This is one of the best Directs I have ever seen. I don't say that lightly, there have been some really fantastic ones. One of my favorites was, of course, the Smash Ultimate Direct, where I was waiting, hoping, and then I see more Splatoon, I got really upset, and then all of a sudden it was Smash. I remember being overjoyed. I remember exactly where I was at that time. This one was right up there with it. So many surprises, so many fantastic things. But I wanted to give it some time to breathe before I made a reaction to it or made a video. That's why I didn't post one yesterday. I really thought about it. But I wanted to give it some time for the dust to settle because a couple things were omitted from the Direct that I wanted to wait for clarity on. And some stuff has come to light since then in the last day and a half now. And so now I can compile all my thoughts together and give you the good of the Nintendo Direct and the aftermath of the Nintendo Direct. So first and foremost, like I said, the Direct was spectacular. I think they put on a masterclass in showing off like a great amount of games and showing what the hardware could do. I loved them like giving a technical showcase while also making it interesting and engaging. I think the pacing was fantastic from start to finish. It wasn't like all technical specs of the Switch 2 at the beginning and then a ton of games at the end. They interspersed them throughout. They went from like, here's some stuff about the gimmick, the mouse gimmick, and here's some games that go along with it. And then here's some stuff that talks about like the graphical capabilities of the Switch 2. And here's a game that goes with it. I loved what they did with this. There were tons of surprises. The first party games slapped. I got a few predictions absolutely right with Metroid Prime 4, Pokemon Legends ZA both getting Switch 2 versions of their respective games, and a new 3D Donkey Kong game, which was so extremely hype. I could not believe that that's how they ended the Direct with the 3D Donkey Kong game. I'm overjoyed, truly. This is such a long time coming for Donkey Kong fans. I'm so excited to see what this game is going to be like because it looks phenomenal. Redesign aside, I think redesign actually is going to be fine. I think DK looks much different, but I think it will be okay in the end. I think that they're going with a new art style and I'm fine with that. I want to see what this is going to look like because the game looks fantastic. So, and then tons of third-party support as well. Tons of fantastic games getting ported over. You've got even like Cyberpunk 2077 getting like the full package over there. You've got Civilization 7, which is one I absolutely predicted in my some of my videos that I talked about it, getting the mouse support. It looks like there's going to be a lot of crossover there, like kind of appealing to a lot of markets here. You've got the hybrid thing still going on. You've got the mobile gaming market here. You've still got the console gaming market. You've got the graphics people because it's got 4K and 120 frames per second. There's lots to love about that. And now you've got like the RTS and the strategy games and stuff like that because you've got the ability to point and click with a pseudo mouse here. I like that they're appealing to multiple camps. I think Nintendo is catching up with the times, not only in terms of their hardware, but in terms of the way that they market their games and everything. I think they're doing a fantastic job there. The hardware looks fantastic. I love pretty much everything about it. We have GameCube games coming to the Nintendo Switch Online expansion. That's fantastic. This is why Wind Waker never got a port over. Now we see why, because it's one of the headlining games on the GameCube, along with F-Zero GX, which is really fantastic for F-Zero fans. Not only are we getting that, hopefully that sparks interest in a new game. Maybe that will drive some sales. Maybe Nintendo will think, we finally will make an F-Zero game. If not, you get to experience F-Zero GX once more. Fantastic news either way. So that's the good stuff. I'm sure I left out some other things, but overall, this was like a 10 out of 10 Direct. If it had Smash in it, it would have been a 10 out of 10 for me, 100%. But honestly, I couldn't really think of many low points. One of the only ones I really thought of was like the stupid touring the Nintendo Switch as a game that's not going to be bundled in with the Switch. It's not like a game it's a game that you're going to have to buy, which I think is baffling. No one's buying that stupid piece of garbage. I just straight up, that's the stupidest idea for a game ever. So it seems like they're going the Astrobot route with Astro's Playroom, but not including it with the console, and it doesn't look fun either. Like, I just don't understand. So let's get to the aftermath of the Nintendo Direct, because I was out of my seat. I was so excited, so happy. $450 was the price point that they said after the Direct, but not during the Direct. And I was a little concerned when I saw that they weren't giving pricing for anything during the Direct at all. And my guess, and what has been somewhat confirmed is that with US tariffs and everything, they've been a little bit fluid with their pricing. So in the Direct itself, they didn't reveal any price because they weren't sure what they were going to do for their pricing strategy. I think $4.50 is to get ahead of potential tariffs and stuff like that. I think this is to try and make sure that they're like keeping their margins where they need to be and everything. But more likely than not, they're just trying to kind of future-proof this. I think I saw some statement about like if they price stuff too low, it's really hard to raise your prices after that. So starting high is the idea. But the pricing strategy for everything else, the Switch 2, I think at $4.50 is not horrible. I don't think it's unreasonable. You've got the PS5 Slim, no disk drive model up at like $4.50 when it started off at $4, something like that. I can't remember if it's $4.50 or $4.30 now, but it started off at $4 and they raised the price on that. That kind of sucks. So it's very competitively priced, and with all the upgrades and everything, I can see why. I can see why $4.50 is here. I'm not mad at that. $500, I think I would have been a little bit upset, but again, it's like premium console, hybrid stuff still, lots of great apps here. Like we're looking okay. I'm okay with $4.50, honestly. The games, however, are the big talking point right now, to the point that people during the Nintendo Treehouse talking about Mario Kart World, which looks phenomenal by the way, were spamming in the chat, lower the price. That was what they were doing the entire time. Everyone loves the idea of this game. It looks out of this world good. You can buy the bundle with the game and the console for $500 to get the digital version. But if you're not doing that, a digital copy costs $80. A digital copy of Mario Kart World. We have not seen a AAA release be $80, let alone for the digital version. I keep saying that because I found out after the fact that a physical copy will be $90. $90 for a physical cartridge and $80 for the digital. Back in the day, we thought digital gaming would be this way to cut costs, that the digital versions would be cheaper. That has not proved to be the case over time. We have seen digital prices be exactly the same as physical prices, and we have not seen any benefit from that. And even like some developers, when the Switch came out, because cartridges cost more than discs to make, they were like charging an extra $10 if you wanted a physical version of the Switch games. So instead of the physical games being the same price as always and digital being cheaper, digital kept up with physical and physical got more expensive. And this is an even bigger jump here. Now, to put this in perspective, $80 for a game, like I said, no AAA developer has done this on a standard edition game. No one. Not even EA has touched this with a 10-foot pole. 70 has been kind of the new norm in terms of big AAA releases. We saw this with the PS5 and Xbox Series X era of games, and Nintendo jumped on board with Tears of the Kingdom. It looked like they were testing the markets. People responded pretty well with that. They said, you know what, $70 for a game like this? Sure. But we're prepping for that. Everything else has been 60. Now all of a sudden they're jumping up to 80 for some reason. And it's because they think they can. That's really the cut and dry. They think they can get away with an $80 game or a $90 game. This wouldn't be even, this is already as frustrating and upsetting as it can possibly be. But if you add the little cherry on top here, a lot of the physical cartridges will not come with the game installed. They will not have the game on the cartridge themselves. You will have to download the games, and the cartridge is a key. You'll download it one time, you don't have to connect in there after that, but you always have to have the cartridge so it doesn't get any of the benefits of a digital version, and you don't get the game on the cartridge itself, or at least not all of it. Which begs the question, what's the point? What's the point of these physical games? Are they just getting rid of them entirely? Are they trying to phase them out altogether? Like if I'm buying Mario Kart World for $90, it better come on the freaking cartridge. If it doesn't, there is no point. I'm not spending an extra $10 to get a stupid key and make it more inconvenient for myself. I'm going to buy the bundle. I don't plan on buying the bundle. I plan on boycotting Mario Kart World, honestly. I think that you should as well. I don't like to throw around boycott very often. I think that's it's kind of lost a lot of its meaning. But for this specifically, I think if fans respond in kind here, and we don't buy an $80 game from Nintendo, they won't charge $80 for games anymore. Mario Kart World is their killer app. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was the best-selling Switch game of all time by a huge margin, with heavy hitters like Smash Brothers coming in like third place. You have some seriously big games, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was still the best seller. Mario Kart World is poised to be the best selling game on the Switch too. It looks phenomenal. It looks like a huge evolution for the series. But at $80 or $90, it's not worth it. It absolutely is not. And I hope that Nintendo sees that. I hope that the Switch 2 comes out and all the people buy the bundle and get Mario Kart 8 with the bundled in and everything. That, I think that's fine if you want to go that route. If you don't want to wait, I don't blame you here. $50 for a game when it's $80 otherwise, I get it. But if they see people not buying the game otherwise, they see it not bundled in, they're not seeing any sales outside of that, they will not do that in the future. They will not price their games at $80. And we really need to push back here, because Nintendo is not doing it because of tariffs. They're not doing it because of anything else. The digital games don't cost a lot of money to put out there. They're not manufacturing the cartridges. It's not a big deal for them. They're making huge profits off of these digital games. An $80 digital game is unacceptable, and we will not take it. I'm not going to take it, at least, and I think a lot of people are saying the same thing. In fact, I've seen a lot of people, after seeing the Switch 2 price point and the games revealed their price points and all the accessories and everything, are now less high on the Nintendo Switch 2, and I think it will absolutely impact the launch. I do think the Switch 2 is poised to sell out in a major way. I do not think so anymore. I think it will likely sell out because people will think it's going to be a hot commodity, and a lot of people just won't have the cash. I've been saving up for a few years, putting money aside specifically for the Switch 2, because I knew that this was going to be coming at some point, and I've been putting money aside so that I could have it. I plan on buying it. But for me, if I get the console and I need to get Metroid Prime 4 and Donkey Kong Bonanza, those are the two games I'm really excited about. Let's say I'm getting the physical cartridge and they're $80 a piece. Well, hopefully they are, and they're not $90. Let's just say for argument's sake here, $80 a piece. I'm spending $160 on two games and $450 on my console. So we're looking at what, $610 right there? $610 to play two games. If I get it physically, $590. This is insane. It really is. And again, this is just Nintendo being greedy. Let's just call it what it is. Nintendo is pushing their luck because they feel like they can. They feel like they're in a really good position. I've talked about this many times before. They're poised in this beautiful position to take the market by storm. But now I feel like they're going way too far. They're going to take the market, and they're going to get a ton of extra money out of us. I just don't like it. I don't like what I'm seeing. I'm absolutely not buying any of the accessories. I'm not buying an $80 Pro controller. I'm not buying a $90 set of Joy-Cons. I'm not doing any of the extra stuff. You can keep your $35 camera. You can keep your stupid everything else peripheral-wise. I will be buying the console without any digital games. I'm going to buy physical games for the games I love and care about right now, and I'm going to wait as long as it takes for Mario Kart World to go on sale. I will wait until that bad boy is down to $50 or $40 on that physical cartridge before I even spend a penny on it. I think that is absolutely ridiculous. So I think the Switch 2 Direct was so fantastic. It was so good because Nintendo knew it needed to be, because they were going to drop all this garbage on us afterward. So they thought they'd build up the hype. Let's not talk about price now. We'll drop the price later, and then let it all just fizzle out afterward. I don't think it's going to fizzle out. I think with the economy being what it is and people already not having a whole lot of extra discretionary money, I don't think this is going to fly very well. Again, I've been setting aside money just specifically for this. I've been excited for it for a long time. I want to play Metroid Prime 4 in that glorious 120 frames per second. I really do. I want to see it in 1440p, 120 frames. I think it'll be really cool. I want Donkey Kong Bonanza more than I can say. I want those games. But I'm going to be pissed off if they don't come on the cartridge. They better come on the cartridge. It better be a rarity for games to not fully come on the cartridge. Stuff like Cyberpunk 2077, maybe that makes sense. Maybe you are not able to make that work. But everything else, it just better happen. They better have their games on their disc on the cartridges, and they better start pricing their stuff better. I think if we fight with our wallets here, we can win this battle. I really do. But it's going to take some time. So don't buy Mario Kart World until Nintendo cuts the price. I don't ever want to see a freaking $80 digital game ever again, or a $90 physical game. Let me know in the comments section down below what you think. Are you going to get the Switch 2 day one? Are you going to wait until it's cheaper? Are you going to wait for all the software to go down and all the BS accessories to go down? What is your take? I would love to hear what you have to say. I'm both really excited and really frustrated at the exact same time. I don't see myself getting a lot of games after I buy this console. I see myself sitting on it for a while and playing a bunch of my old Switch 1 stuff, which is a little frustrating, but at least I'll have my new fancy toy and a couple great games to go along with it. So let me know in the comment section down below what you think and what you're going to do. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.